It's Hump Day.
Hump Day!
It's Hump Day.
Hump Day!
Hey everybody, welcome to Humpday Hangouts. Today is, of course, episode 104. So,
woohoo!
Yeah, woo! Sorry for the up-the-nose shot here. I'm on my laptop. I'm in Toronto this week, and we got people all over the place. So before we get into the celebrations here, let's go down the line and say hi. So Chris, how's it going?
Excellent. Great to be here. Exciting episode today.
Yeah, no kidding, no kidding. Hernan, how's it going, man? Where are you at?
Hey guys, what's up? It's really, really good to be here. I'm in Florida at the moment. I'm in Boca Raton. So I'm enjoying the nice weather over here, and I didn't want to miss the 104. So it's quite a milestone, and I'm really happy to be sharing it with you guys. So.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Marco, what's up, man?
Man, episode 104. Lots of good shit in store today, man. Lots of good shit in store for our followers, people who are always with us, the membership, just everybody. We got tons of good stuff.
Outstanding. And Bradley, how's it going?
Awesome. 104, man. 2 years we've been at this. When we've only taken 1 week off in 104 episodes, and that was a scheduled week off. And in fact, next week is our we're going to be down in Panama, all meeting each other for our annual corporate meeting. And we were debating whether we were going to have Humpday Hangouts next week or not, but we are going to have it next week. Just so you guys know, it'll be episode 105. But we're all going to be in Panama, probably half shit-faced. So it's not going to be like a regular Q&A hangout next week, guys. It's just going to be literally a hangout next week. Like, we're going to come on, we'll be sitting by the pool drinking drinks with little umbrellas in them, and we'll be hanging out and just having fun next week. So just be aware that next week we're not really going to do Q&A. It'll just be kind of like us showing off in Panama.
It's going to be the kindler, gentler Humpday Hangouts.
Yeah.
All right, well, I got a couple of announcements. Real quick, wanted to say, for those of you who have joined and are checking out local Kingpin and Maps Kingpin, good on you. We got a lot of good feedback already, and we do also have a webinar for that. So if you're wanting to find out more, I'm going to put the link up in a minute here. Actually, I'm going to do it right now while I'm talking. And that's going to be next week, okay? So if you want to find out more about local Kingpin and how you can put it to use, then that's going to be the place to go. So it's just going to be a webinar where we do a little bit more in-depth explanation. We've had some people who wanted to find out more about it.
Yeah, and I've
also
been updating it already, just so you guys know. Those of you that have purchased, just checked in the updates section, the updates module, because I added another one today. I added one yesterday and added one the day before. So I've added an update every day for the last 3 days. One of the updates was a Maps Kingpin only update, so that's in that module. But the other two were inside the main training. So make sure you check those out, because I'm going to be adding additional training videos on a regular basis for the next several months, because as I learn more, I'm going to be sharing that, as well as I continue to optimize the case studies. I'm going to be adding additional videos for that. And then I added the first video today for the second case study, and that's what. So there's going to be a lot of additional content added, guys. We're not going to send out notifications every time a new piece is added. So I recommend you just go into it regularly and check. I'm done.
All right. Marco, I think there's something going on tonight at around 7 o'clock. Is there something that people are supposed to know about?
Oh, dude, the Beast of the Valley has been booked. It's confirmed. I'm going back and forth right now with his business manager, just finalizing everything, making sure that CT will be there on time. And yes, he is going to be there, and he is going to share his successes, his failures, and how he's grown his social media and his business to where now, I was just telling Bradley, he's actually franchising his gyms. In fact, he has a new supplement line coming out November 25th, I think it is. So you guys that like lifting weights, I suggest you check them out. I know that Bradley and I already have them on order, right?
Yeah.
We pre-ordered
Yep.
our stuff. We're geeked, man. We're really into this. We're into CT. But the main thing about this is, guys, don't approach this just from a weightlifting and that type of thing. because the message, when you break it down, which is what we're going to do today, it's a whole lot more than that. And it's universal, and it reaches out across all niches, and you can apply what he has to say, the principles, to anything so that you can succeed. So this is what we're going to be getting into, and I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah, and it's not for the faint of heart, guys. CT Fletcher, he's real aggressive, and he's in your face. He's a kick your ass kind of guy, and that's how he talks too. So if you're easily offended, just don't show up. Do yourself a favor and avoid it. But for everyone else that's not easily offended, I highly recommend that you make it, because again, his message is undeniable. It's universal, as Marco just said. It's quite an inspiring story. And you know, if you need a good swift kick in the ass to get motivated to do something, CT Fletcher's one of the men that can do it for you. So I highly recommend that you check it out tonight and hear his message.
Awesome. And like we had said, you know, we got some special stuff going on today. Obviously, it's episode 104, and you know, to show our gratitude for those of you who are, you know, have been following us since the beginning, those of you who have just found us, and those of you who maybe just are watching today. But regardless, we want to give you guys the opportunity to get something back in addition to these Humpday Hangouts. And so we were talking about what we can do for everybody. And one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to randomly select 3 people. And what we want to do is we want to give each of you, those 3 people, we're going to give you one of the books we give our new mastermind members. So when people join the Semantic Mastery Mastermind, one of the first things we talk to them about is how to work the system, literally, I guess, because that's the first book, is work the system. But then they also get 2 more books, and those are the 10X Rule and the One Thing. So we're going to randomly select 3 of you, and we're going to buy those books, and we'll ship them to you, okay? And I'll be contacting those people directly, and I'll be posting it on the event page here. But also, we're going to pick, and this is going to be kind of best question style. Chris is going to pick one, Marco is going to pick one, and I'm going to pick one. And one person is going to get a free month of the IFTTT SEO Academy V2. All right, and then somebody else is going to get a complete RYS drive stack, which is pretty freaking awesome. And then the last but certainly not least, one person is going to get 90 days free of the mastermind, which is nearly $1,000 worth of value, and just in monetary alone. But we'll be doing that towards the end, and we'll be contacting you. And so if you got good questions, get them on there. You know, if you haven't commented yet and you kind of are a lurker, today's the day to maybe, you know, ask a question or be involved. So hopefully we'll get some good questions from everybody today.
All right, so I guess we're done with announcements.
That is it on my end. You guys got anything?
I'm good.
Let's start.
Let's go.
All right, let's do it. First of all, grab the screen. Hangouts changed their, wow, they changed their screen share options. It looks different. Oh, well. Okay, you guys, let me know if you're not seeing me. I'll zoom in a little bit. Okay, sweet. We'll start right at the bottom. We got lots of comments and stuff today, guys. We appreciate that. We're going to try to roll through as much as we can. We do have masterclass today at 5 o'clock, so we can't go over it all. All right, Mark O'Connell, he's always here. I'm going to +1 him just for always showing up. 104, you guys are beasts. Love it. Keep up the great work. Thanks, Mark. We appreciate that. My question may be slightly unrelated. I don't know, but I asked you guys a question a while back about books, and I loved your answers. I took Hernan's advice, and after the Hangout, I got a free trial of Audible, so I could listen to Grant Cardone narrate his book, and it was well worth it. But I read a book not too long ago and would love you to briefly talk about it if you've read it, because I felt like it was a huge book for my mindset. So before I finish with that question, yeah, guys, Audible's awesome because you can listen to, you know, most, not every book, obviously, but there's a ton of books that are transcribed or you know, narrated, I should say, that you can listen to from Audible. And it's awesome because, like, you know, when you're driving around in your car, you can listen to books, and that's what I do. I don't really listen to it at the gym because it's kind of hard to focus on a book while working out. But driving, whenever I'm driving, I like to listen to those because I call it like a university on wheels. And that's a good way to learn, and that's downtime that you probably would be doing something unproductive other, you know, besides driving anyways. You know what I mean? So that's awesome. I'm glad, Mark, that you took that advice and used that time wisely. So the remainder of the question, he says, the book is Psycho-Cybernetics. It talks about self-image optimization, how you see yourself, and how to change it. So I guess my question is, does successful self-image optimization lead to successful SEO? Thanks, guys, and well done on your milestone. I'm sure all non-bitter people are very happy with your success. Cheers. I can speak from experience. I think I haven't read that particular book, Psycho-cybernetics. I will make a note of that, though, to check it out. But self-image optimization, I think, is important. I mean, you can call it self-image optimization. You can call it improving your self-esteem. You know, it's mindset, and that's a perfect question mark for what we're going to be. You know, our guest tonight was C.T. Fletcher, Semantic Mastery meets C.T. Fletcher, because it's all about mindset. And he says, pardon my language, guys, but he says, fuck excuses, you know, and that's the truth. And that's in part self-image optimization, or improving yourself, having you know, holding yourself in high regard. And that's not like it's not an arrogance thing. It's knowing that you can accomplish whatever you want to accomplish if you set your mind to it, and having that kind of confidence in yourself, in your own ability. And it takes work. I mean, you're not just, I guess some people are born with it, but I know it can be something that you can learn. It's something that you can condition yourself to do, is to be more confident. And I think anytime that you can improve your mindset, your entire life is going to be improved, not just become a better SEO. I mean, if that's your life ambition, then absolutely. Or if that's one of your, you know, major parts of your life is doing SEO work, then absolutely that'll get better. But how about elevating everything in your life by having a better self-esteem? You know, and I'm somebody that I always listen to self-help books and you know, audio programs, and that's typically what I'm listening to from Audible. Is I don't like read fiction books ever. I'm always reading sales books and mindset books and motivational stuff, because it keeps me going. And when I start to get lazy and not do that kind of stuff, I tend to start losing motivation and kind of momentum for projects that I'm working on. So I tend to do that on a regular basis. So Mark, I think you're on to something there. You know, I think with this particular book, I don't have an opinion on yet. However, I will put it on my my wish list so that I can check it out at some point. But keep doing what you're doing, man. I mean, we have a bunch of books. We just mentioned 3 of them that we send out to our mastermind members when they first join, because you know, over the first 3 months, because they're books that are so transformative to us and our businesses, such as Grant Cardone's The 10X Rule, Work the System. What is that? I think his name is Sam Carpenter. And then what is the other one? That One Thing, is that Gary Keller? I think it is.
Yeah, and then, man, we're gonna have to add the 80-20 rule pretty soon, I think.
Yeah, Perry Marshall's 80-20 Sales and Marketing.
Yep.
Yep, that's a really, really good book too. So that, you know, that's a good strategy, Mark, and you should keep it up. And I encourage everybody to do that too. You know, it's not necessarily always about learning more tactics to rank stuff, guys. Like, sometimes you just got to feed your mind positive stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. And it's not just for SEO. If you have the mindset, you can apply it to
your entire life,
to anything. Yeah, yep. To your life, to how you deal with people, to how you deal with family, how you approach people, and how you look at them in a different way. Because if you're sure about yourself and you care about yourself, then that automatically goes out. It goes outward. You'll start caring about others too. And it's just as he says, it's the mindset. It's changing that internal machine into believing that you can do anything you want, which is one of the things that we'll be dealing with C.T. Fletcher tonight, which is, again, excuse me, fucking impossible. Don't let anybody define what's impossible. You can't know unless you try it. And so if you set out to become the best SEO that you can be, you can't let anybody else tell you how successful you can be. That's up to you. That's up to you to put in work. It takes work, it takes dedication, and it takes focus, and it takes a lot of things. And it's really interesting that he mentions this, because we've been discussing having a mindset series for our mastermind. And so yeah, this is a great question. I'm really liking this question.
Was a great question, Mark. And I just want to add one more thing. Recently, I've read a few books by who's quickly become one of my favorite authors. And let me rephrase that. I haven't read the books. I've listened to the books on Audible because I very rarely have time to read. Ryan Holiday is his name. He wrote the first book. The first book was Trust Me, I'm Lying, which is fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. It's not really about mindset. It's just about how much bullshit the mass media is, and how it's like so it's a great book. Let's just put it that way. But the next book was about it's called The Obstacle is the Way, and I think it's an outstanding book. It's based upon Stoic philosophy or Stoicism, but it's really, really powerful. It's finding how to find an opportunity in every adversity. And if you have that attitude about you, then no matter what life throws at you, you'll always be able to be successful. You'll always be able to make it through. And again, it's very similar to what we're going to be hearing tonight from C.T. Fletcher. And so again, that book is called The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. Highly recommend you guys put that on your wish list for Audible. If you're going to, to me, it was very transformative. And then his next book was called Ego is the Enemy. I'm listening to that one right now. But that's also a really good book. So that he's, again, quickly become one of my favorite authors. And I encourage you guys to check it out. Okay. All right, we're going to keep moving. I didn't want to spend too much time on that, but it's a great question, Mark. We appreciate that. Greg says, 2 years. Congrats, guys. Thanks, Greg. Recently, I attended a 1.5 hour long webinar by a highly known social media expert. The truth is, Bradley, Marco, and Hernan often share more helpful, actionable information in a 5-minute Humpday answer than was learned from that entire webinar. You guys are great. Thanks. Thanks, Greg. We appreciate that. My question is, I use a unique tag, excuse me, for each post and then use Yoast SEO canonical for each tag back to the post. This worked with a prior theme, but is not working with the new theme from same company on new site. I'm not sure if there's a problem with the theme or with Yoast. Should I stop using the tags, or could I instead redirect the tag back to the post using the redirection plugin? Greg, it would kind of defeat the purpose if you did a redirect of having the tag pages. I mean, you could still use the tag URL as an additional link point, but if it's directly 301, then essentially it's just a 301 link. In other words, if you were to build links to that tag URL and it's just redirected to your post, then it's essentially all you're going to be doing is building links directly to your post. So you're not hiding anything. The whole canonical method that we talked about in the mastermind, which is where he picked this up, is so that you can build links to the tag page, and the tag page will pass all the equity through the canonical tag back to the original post, but competitors won't see the tag page, the inbound links on the tag pages, if that makes sense. Because you can set them to no index and anything. The whole point is you build links to the tag page and then have it set with the, canonicalized to the post so that you can mask link building opportunities from prying eyes. That's what that's for. But so doing a 301 redirect isn't going to really help you at all. Okay. So in other words, if for whatever reason you can't get the canonicals to work, I would first of all see if it's a plugin conflict of some sort. Disable all other plugins except for the Yoast plugin and see if your canonical tags or if your tag pages are working correctly. If they're not working correctly, then you can assume that it's either the theme itself, which in that case I would contact the theme developers, or it's the Yoast plugin. Most likely it's the theme. However, if you've disabled all your other plugins and you find out that with just the Yoast plugin enabled, it is working, then there's obviously a conflict with one of your other plugins. And then for there, you could just go back and start turning on one plugin at a time and checking the tag pages until you have identified which plugin is causing the problem. Okay. But yeah, as far as setting a redirect using the tag URLs and redirect, that's not really beneficial at all. At least I can't see it being beneficial, because any links that were built to the tag URL would be viewable from anybody looking at your backlink profile, whereas the tag pages won't be if you're doing the canonical method. Okay. All right, Dean's next. He says, when building an HTML website today in Notepad+, the Google Maps API section displayed as expected on desktop, yet when I uploaded the site on the server, I got an error along the lines. Marco, this is going to be something you're going to have to answer, because this kind of stuff, let's see, I read this briefly earlier. He said something about the problem that, I had to Google the problem and found the quote, if you're using Google Maps API on localhost on your domain, or your domain was not prior active to June 22nd, 2016, it will require a key going forward. To fix this problem, please see the Google Maps API documentation. Okay, I had to sign a new Google and generate a key when in the past I did not have to. Does this mean that Google is now tackling people using a method of embedding maps on websites to help rank in maps? Or does this just mean that when building websites for clients, I'm going to have to generate a key attached to my Gmail account for their site or use their Gmail? I'm not sure what you're talking about, because Dean, I'm not sure why. It sounds like you did something to overcomplicate this. I'm not accusing you of anything, but what I'm saying is Google, the My Maps and Google Maps will give you the embed code. So if they're giving you the embed code, they don't require you to have API access, like a key for all that. I'm not sure what you're talking about. You must have tried to create something that I'm just not following you here, because any map you can pull up and look and grab the share URL, whether it's from Google Maps or from Google My Maps, either one, you can get the embed code. So
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure why he's going into the API either, because even if it's an HTML website,
it shouldn't
you can
matter.
still embed an iframe.
Yeah.
I mean, that's old school. That's how we started out.
Yeah. So Dean, there's something that you're doing that's overcomplicating this when it shouldn't be that complicated. Maybe if you can clarify somehow, we can help you. But otherwise, like I said, if you go to Google My Maps, you can click a share. You can grab the share URL. Or excuse me, the embed code, so that you can embed the My Maps. And if you're going to Google Maps for like local listings, you can grab the share embed code. So that's all you need. I'm not sure what else you're doing. Sorry, I can't help you more. Greg says, what has been your most rewarding experience during 2 years of Humpday Hangouts? What has been the most surprising thing from the past 2 years regarding anything online marketing related? That's a really good question. I wish I had time to think about it more. Anybody else want to chime in?
No, I'd want more time to answer it also. I mean, the most rewarding experience is just seeing people from all over the world, literally, just coming on here and just asking questions that are common to SEO. And we answer them, and I know Bradley sometimes gets tired of answering them, but it's new to the person that's asking it. It's old to us, but it's new to the person that's asking it. But I just love seeing people just coming in, finding us, asking questions, and then telling us time and again, look, you guys give more away in an hour than what most gurus and ninjas ask you to pay for. So
yeah, and
that's very rewarding.
I would say also, getting the testimonials that we get back in a lot of our groups about, things that people learned that they've put to use or put to practice and ended up having a lot of success with, and then sharing that, because I think that's that to me is rewarding, because it's like we do spend a lot of time, guys, testing, and we spend a lot of time trying to put together training for you guys, and for all the various groups and the Hangouts and the webinars and all that stuff and the products that we release. Put a lot of work into it, and so it's good to get feedback. Which is, for the most part, all positive. We get, of course, there's always trolls out there in the internet land, and there's certainly some trolls that have attacked us too. But for the most part, the vast majority of comments are always really positive, and to me, that's really rewarding.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, just hop on the train and say the same thing. It's nice when people come back and say something. It's not that, constantly need the ego boost, but it's just good to get that feedback. And because there's times, this is like, I know I've been, on before and been like, oh man, like I'm really busy. I got other things to do, but, show up and then to have somebody come on and be like, man, you guys may not realize this, but that 2 minutes you took to answer my question, like totally changed my, either got me a client or, helped me close a deal or just improve my life because it stopped me from doing something really stupid, just anything like that. So.
Yeah. Okay, what has been the most surprising thing from the past 2 years? Well, I mean, for me, I'll say something that's kind of selfish or personal to me. Surprising to me, for me and my business, is that I'm kind of transitioning away from SEO and going more towards paid traffic, because I never thought I'd see that day. And so, I mean, I'm just speaking up from me personally. In the last 2 years, I've started doing a lot more paid traffic, hence local Kingpin, which we just launched. And, I was telling my partners yesterday during our corporate meeting that that's going to be my main area of focus for the next several months, is getting really, really good at paid traffic, particularly AdWords. And I never thought I'd see that day. And so that's really significant to me. I know that's probably not what you were looking for, Greg, but that's been rather a large change in mindset for me. How about you guys?
What surprised me the most is how much confusion there is out there, how much noise there is out there in the SEO world with all the different opinions and all of these people saying different things and trying to to knock other people down rather than saying, yeah, you know, there's a bunch of different ways that you could do this, and that's just another way. Instead, they say, well, no, that shit doesn't work. Come get our shit. I don't like to do that. We say, you know, there's more than one way to skin a cat, and there's more than one way to rank a website, paid traffic, social media, tons of ways. And so there's really no I don't know, perfect way, guru way, ninja way. There's the semantic mastery way. We do what we do. It works, and that's all we worry about. We don't worry about anybody else.
That's right.
And it just surprises me that other people worry about us.
Well, that's the trolls, and that's the thing. I just don't even engage with them. I mean, guys, it takes, you know, a lot of self-discipline and restraint to not jump in on those stupid comments that we see in some, you know, sometimes. But it's, you know, again, ego is the enemy. Take your ego out of it and recognize it for what it is. And that's just, you know, like Marco said, there's just a lot of noise out there, and that's why we don't even engage in that. Just kind of brush it off, because I mean, like, for example, the Humpday Hangouts, that's what we're here for. 2-year anniversary today. We give an hour of our time every single week for you guys. We enjoy it. Like I do. I find this rewarding and I like it. That's why we've been doing it for so long. And I don't know of any other SEO or SEO training companies and, well, online marketing gurus, I guess you could say, that do that. There's not a whole lot of them, if there are. And so, you know, not that we're patting ourselves on the back, but it's because we enjoy it and we like to do it. And you know, we try to give back because obviously this industry has been good to us too. So, okay, Andrew's next. He says, with the IFTTT networks, how do you increase the metrics? Citation flow, trust flow, page authority. Andrew, I don't even try increasing metrics anymore. Honestly, I just don't focus on that at all, because increasing metrics is only for your own satisfaction, because nobody else cares. I'm not being rude to you, Andrew. I'm just saying, like, honestly, it's just a vanity metric, in my opinion, to look at, like, and say, okay, look, because metrics don't rank sites anymore. You can manipulate metrics and it can give you somewhat of an edge, but what we have found through our testing, and we stand by this, is that it's all about relevancy, more so than metrics. And so it's not something I particularly sweat about, but, you know, the traditional methods of improving metrics still hold, like improving page authority, domain authority, which that's simple to do because you can do that with spam, and citation flow, you can increase that by spam. But the tricky one is trust flow or topical trust flow, and you should be focused more on topical relevancy than either of those metrics, to be honest with you. Okay, Marco, comment on that, because I know you've got an opinion on it too.
Sorry, I was muted. Totally. Metrics, throw them out the window. The third-party metrics, they're somebody's idea of what Google's algorithm could be like, and nobody has an idea of what Google's algorithm could possibly be, since it's so complicated. The thing that we concentrate on, is it relevant? Not only is what we're producing relevant to our niche, but the links that we go out and get, are they relevant to the niche that we're concentrating, or is it just so powerful that the niche doesn't matter? If you get into Wikipedia, for example, yeah, which is all over the place, but it's still a directory type place where you'll be in a certain area, right, or in a certain niche, in a certain subject. Something like that, something that's just out of this world. If you can do that, I mean, that's fine. Otherwise, don't even bother. Just keep producing content that's relevant to your niche, and keep trying to link from websites and citations or whatever that are relevant to your niche, and you will be way ahead of the game.
Yeah, and I'm dropping this link. I mean, you know, just because you did ask, how do you improve metrics? This is a spam way to improve metrics. If that's all you're trying to do is you know, improve trust flow metrics. Let me get back to the questions. Damn, there's a lot of comments on this page, and we're not. God, we got a lot to get through. Anyways, I just tested this service, guys. This is ADSS30.com, whatever. I use this service a lot for, like, if I've got to pillow a site because I've got to, like, lower anchor text ratio, stuff like that. Then I'll come here and order links from this company or from this service provider. And they recently sent an email out with coupon code for 60% off their high trust flow niche blog comments. So I said, I'll give it a day in court. You know, I'll give it a shot. And so I purchased the fifth. I purchased 50. I thought, I don't know where the hell those are. Oh, right here. Anyways, I purchased 50 high trust flow blog comment links, and I was able to take a brand new Web 2 site up to a 24 trust flow about 10 days later. Once I got the report back from them, and I took the blog comment URLs and submitted them to a couple different indexing services. And about a week later, I checked, and that particular Web 2 was up to like a 20. It was either 22 or 24 trust flow. And the citation flow was only like 26 or 28, which is good because you want a close to a 1-to-1 ratio between citation or a higher trust flow than a citation flow. That's typically a sign of good metrics. And so, like, I've got no affiliation with these guys. I'm just telling you that I purchased their, again, it was a 60% off coupon. That's why I was able to get the 50 niche relevant comments for like, it was a lot cheaper. I can tell you that. It was like $90 or something like that. And so if you get on their email list, guys, they do send out coupons often. So I highly recommend that you check them out. And, again, you asked if you just want to improve metrics just so you can look at your numbers in Majestic and be happy, then that's probably a good service for it. But I would recommend that you just be careful doing anything like that to money sites. Okay. All right, Michael's up. He says, hi, I've always used the WW version of websites, the HTTP, and non-W versions direct to the WW at the hosting service. Now for my new site, which is an affiliate site, no secure e-commerce or customer info needed. I chose HTTPS and the SSL certificate to be activated, but still use www. Okay, the first pages on my site were fine. I'll use www version. Now the last 3 pages have both www and HTTPS versions indexed. I'm not sure it'll stop this from happening. Go to Google Search Console. I've not seen any place with the host or Google search how to choose one or the other. Yeah, go to Search Console and go to Site Settings, and you can choose your display URL, and you have to verify the domain for both versions of the HTTP and HTTPS. So you have to verify that domain under both versions. Essentially, you have to add both versions of the site to Search Console. But then you go to Site Settings and you can select which one is a display URL, and it's not going to, like, if you select to always show HTTPS plus the www version of it, right? So your URL, the front part of your URL, if you tell Google, I always want it to show HTTPS : // and in your domain, then once you click save, it's not going to instantly make all of those other indexed URLs disappear. It's going to take some time for those other indexed URLs to drop out of the index, but you can set that in Search Console. Okay.
And make sure that you have the canonical set to the HTTPS www so that you don't run into any furry black.
Well, that should be handled automatically in Word. Oh, this is e-commerce. Never mind. If it's not Word, because if it's WordPress, it's set automatically by WordPress.
Right.
But yeah, if it's e-commerce, yes, make sure your canonicals are set. So, and I don't know if you code that in yourself or the platform will do that for you that you're on. I'm not sure. I don't do any e-commerce stuff, but just, yes, make sure that you have that set correctly. But yeah, you can do that in Search Console, man. Just check it out. All right. Greg's up. He says, happy 104th. You guys have really put it out there. No fear, all the guts, and we share in the glory. Awesome, Greg. Thanks, man. You're one of our regulars. We appreciate that. Can't say enough how much we appreciate you all. Thanks, man. Chris says, congratulations, guy. My G+ profiles and pages keep automatically switching to the new G+. Is there a way to tell it to stay on Classic? With the new G+, does the About page matter as much now? I don't know, because I don't have a lot of experience with the new G+, because I always switch it back to. Chris, most likely your it keeps switching you back to the new one because you're probably clearing cache and cookies, using like CCleaner or something like that. And so every time you clear cache and you log back in, it's going to automatically default you to the new Google+. The reason I know that is because I do all my SEO work and stuff in Firefox, and I'm always clearing that browser, but I very rarely clear Chrome because I'm always logged into Chrome as my main profile. And so I stay on Classic. It's like maybe once a week or something like that, I'll do a clear cache and cookies for everything, including Chrome. And then it'll force me back to the new Google+ until I switch back to Classic. But every time I log in into Firefox into my various Google profiles, it's always forced on new because it's cleared from cache and cookies. So most likely that's what's causing it, Chris. I know it's a little bit of an inconvenience, but, I'm going to keep using Google, classic Google Plus until I'm absolutely forced to use the new one. And I'll be kicking and screaming when that happens. Okay. Cody says, and I don't know how to force it to stay, Chris, because Google's trying to force everybody to the new one, is what I'm trying to tell you. So, the bastards. Cody says, I see my website as a way to help people and change people's lives. Thanks for 2 years of teaching us how to do that more effectively. You guys rock. Thanks, Cody. My only question would be, what is the craziest thing someone has ever asked on Hump Day? Well, that's another good one. That's another good one. Man, I don't know. The craziest thing? Anybody got any ideas?
Wow, man, I'm just laughing because we haven't had any like crazy ones in a while. Like last year, we had like just some crazy stuff. Jeez. Yeah, this is pretty anticlimactic.
Well, I can say one for sure, Cody. Often, and this will probably resonate. A lot of you guys can probably relate to this. Okay, and I've said this before: is we in the as SEOs especially typically want to overcomplicate stuff. I mean, it happens all the time, and I'm 100% guilty of it too, especially in my earlier, the earlier years in my career, because now I try to keep things as simple as possible. I've learned to try to keep it simple, stupid. You know what I mean? But we sometimes, not often, but we sometimes get questions from aspiring marketers or people that are, learning SEO. And I know that they put hours and hours and hours of work into preparing a question because they're planning out a site that's some elaborate silo structure, and they produce a graphic, a diagram with all the silos built out and supporting articles and all the links internal. And I'm not kidding. I've seen questions that I know have taken somebody 4 or 5, even 6 hours just to prepare the question. And then they send it to us and I'm like, it's way too complicated. You don't need all this, and so that I can't specify, like, there's not one specific question because it's happened on more than one occasion. But that's probably the craziest thing is because it's like, then here I come and take the wind right out of their sails. And I don't do it to be mean. I'm just saying, like, man, you spent so much time preparing this elaborate silo structure for like a carpet cleaning site. And it's like, come on, guys, you don't need put that much work. Don't overcomplicate it. Keep it simple, stupid. And I'm not calling you, Cody, stupid. I'm saying that's just the, KISS, K-I-S-S. Don't overcomplicate it. Keep it simple. Try to rank stuff. Try to get results with as little effort and as little work as possible, right? Because then you can always add on. But when you come out of the gate with some huge elaborate scheme for something that doesn't require even a fraction of that, you're just working just to be busy. And there's a difference between being busy and being productive, right? And so that's what I recommend, guys, is to try to just do the absolute bare minimum to get the results that you desire.
The one that always gets to me is, just as an example, can I rank for a DUI attorney in a week?
Yeah.
Fuck no. Hell no.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. What kind of question is that?
That wasn't even a question, though. That was I joined your mastermind. I built an IFTTT around the default WordPress theme. I published 3 articles with no images trying to rank for DUI attorney Toronto, and I haven't ranked. What gives? This stuff doesn't work. So, needless to say, he's no longer a mastermind member. Good riddance. All right, Richard, next. Happy 2 years since I couldn't stop buying your stuff. Maps, Kingpin, +1 net. Local Kingpin questions. In the training, you were suggesting adding geo settings to images with the same geolocation as the GMB. When I want to add extra relevancy to a city close to my business, yeah, you can, Richard. You can. If you're targeting, if you're trying to get your maps listing to rank for another city, like especially if it's close in proximity. Okay, because if it's not real close in proximity, chances are you won't be able to rank in that maps pack anyways. But if it's close enough in proximity, yes, you can. And you can add additional relevancy by adding other images to the Google My Business page, as well as to your website, particularly in blog posts, where you can mention the other cities' names. You can target posts, target the topic of blog posts to target those keywords and those cities' names of those adjacent cities, and add images to those posts as well. Because here's the thing. If you're adding geo metadata to those images, that you can upload to your Google My Business listing. That's awesome. But then you can also use some of those same images and even additional images that are geotagged for that other city or cities that you're blogging. If your blog is connected to your Google My Business page through IFTTT, which is what we teach, then you're going to be feeding additional relevancy back into that listing every time you publish another blog post. So the IFTTT blogging strategy works well as having metadata, geodata added to or appended to those images. And inside of the Maps Kingpin training, one of the videos that I just uploaded, I think it was yesterday, was in the updates module talking about how to use Google Photos. Now using Google Photos as part of your images, because you can append metadata to your Google Photos now, and you can basically fill out, you can spam the metadata, the info section, and you can add NAP details in there, lists of keywords. It's pretty powerful. So I would check that out as well. We serve services at the customer location. So what about having images made at the customer location and adding geo settings? Yes, you can do that. A tip for all people struggling with markup JSON LD, try adding Google Tag Manager to your site. Yeah, Google Tag Manager is awesome. I really like it. And I'm going to be doing some more training on how to use Tag Manager with analytics. As part of the, in Mastermind members will be getting that training, and so will Maps Kingpin and local Kingpin buyers. Okay. Absolutely. That's an awesome, Tag Manager is really cool. It's not that difficult to learn how to use, guys. In fact, there's a course on Udemy by a guy. I dropped a link in the Maps Kingpin training, or the local Kingpin training about it. But you can go to Udemy and look for Tag Manager training, and there's a course that's like, I don't know, I think it was $19 when I bought it, and it's pretty good. Carol's up. She's a relatively new Mastermind member. I listened to Humpday Hangout 90 yesterday. Question about silos and not using a services page for the top of the silo. Okay. I just went through this on a site last week. I left services in the nav menu, but I changed the page title and slug to the keyword. Is that okay, or will be confusing to the bots? I don't know, Carol, exactly, because the services page should be navigational pages only. They shouldn't be part of the silo. That's what we talked about. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about here. Change the page title and slug to the keyword. Again, a services page is typically just for the visitor. It's for human optimization, not for search engine optimization. Does that make sense? It's for visitor optimization. It's in order to make the site more easily navigable from the visitor standpoint. And so the services page typically isn't part of a silo because it doesn't add to the relevancy in any way, shape, or form, if that makes sense. So adding a keyword and changing the services page to a keyword and a slug isn't going to help the silo unless you have the services page as part of the silo and you're trying to inject more relevancy by doing so. And if that's the case, honestly, I don't know, because I would rearrange the site. I would restructure the site, unless obviously you're ranking well already, in which case I wouldn't bother. I wouldn't want a chance risking it by restructuring the site. But if you can improve upon your rankings still, then I would consider restructuring those URLs and the silos. Depends. If you got a ton of content in each silo already, then no, don't restructure it. But if it's just a handful of articles or pages and or supporting posts, then I would consider restructuring the site to remove services from the silo, because it shouldn't be part of that. And that's the way I'm reading the question. If I'm wrong, Carol, we also have master class coming up and mastermind tomorrow, and we can clarify that further in one of those webinars. Jay Turner, Serpspace question. How often and useful can the same GMap be pushed in Serpspace Map Powerhouse program? Or is it a one and done deal, then move on to find other GMaps embeds? That's a good question. I mean, we have the secondary embeds, so I don't know. Marco, you've got more experience with that. It shouldn't matter. You should be able to push. The only thing is you don't want to spam our network with the same embed code at multiple posts, because then that's duplicate content on our networks. Does that make sense? That's a good question.
I totally agree, and he shouldn't need more than just that. I suppose that he's doing RYS and then pushing that my map through our map powerhouse and the secondary embed network. If that doesn't get you where you want to go, man, then I mean, there's a big problem.
Yeah, I would say I would add more to the secondary embeds. If you really want to get that map embed out there across as many sites as you want or as you can, then I would consider keeping the first tier embeds down, like lower your embed count on the first tier, which are the Video Powerhouse credits, the first tier embeds. But the secondary embeds, which is the add-on service, you could go crazy with that. So that way you would have essentially multiple maps, embed projects, or embed projects or whatever, because if you keep your, like, let's say that you just do 10 front tier 1 embeds, then you do a whole bunch of tier 2 embeds, then you still have a whole bunch of other sites left as tier 1s that you can embed on, if that makes sense. So that's what I would do, is just add additional second tier embeds.
And he could always build a second map with additional information and push that.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that, because it's not the same thing. It's a separate URL. It has more or less information or whatever, so you can always do that too, and then make sure they're linked to each other. And I don't want to give away too much, because what goes on in RYS stays in RYS.
Yeah. Brandon's up. He says, hi, I added extra social properties to one IFTTT network for brand: LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, SoundCloud, and a few others. Is that okay? I hope you all have at SM have a great 104th party. Yeah, Brandon, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. In fact, as part of the IFTTT SEO Academy and the update training, the webinar, a monthly update webinars, that's what we're doing, is we're going through and just picking out 4 or 5 additional properties every month. Well, 3 to 5. It's 3 to 5 additional properties every month, and walking through. Absolutely, guys. Look, you want to get your brands, guys. You want to have a presence on as many social media and Web2 sites as possible. I'm telling you, that's what is going to validate the entity. It's going to reinforce your brand. It's going to improve or increase your authority, and it's going to give your site, your brand, more weight in Google's eyes. Okay, so you want to try to get ranked or get listed on as many sites as possible, that are decent sites. You don't want to, I'm not saying go out and get a bunch of forum profile links. That's not what I'm talking about. So yes, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, SoundCloud, all of those. In fact, we just talked about SoundCloud and Pinterest on the last Humpday Hangout, or excuse me, the last IFTTT update webinar, which was last week, I believe. Okay, so absolutely. All right. Eddie's up. I only recently found you guys. 2 years of helping people while building your customer base. Very well done. Congratulations. Thank you, Eddie. Appreciate that. Greg, I saw your post earlier and I clicked on that. That's pretty cool. Now, the next thing is, I know everybody's going to say, well, aren't you going to go update all the IFTTT training videos? And my answer is going to be a resounding no. No. So we'll talk about this in the next update webinar, which will be in about 2 or 3 weeks. But yeah, I'm certainly not going to go in and update all the videos, but thanks for pointing this out, because I was unaware of it. Of course, the next time I log in the IFTTT, I'm sure I'd see it. But the process should be relatively the same. I'll probably add an update video on how to create a recipe under the new user interface, or the new, what they call applets now, as opposed to recipes. But the principle is the same, and I hope that everybody that is part of the IFTTT SEO Academy is smart enough to figure out the proper steps. So thanks for pointing that out, Greg. Okay, Earl, finally moving into some video marketing on a pay-per-call basis with client. Easily 100+ Minnesota towns poked for first place on Google. 5 to 7 of our keywords using Video Marketing Blitz. Awesome, Earl. Multiple video titles showing up on multiple keywords in most towns. Is it a good idea to flood page 1 with multiple similar videos? It can be, Earl, but use different channels. If you have a whole bunch of videos ranked for a keyword and it's all in the same channel, it's a quick way to get your channel terminated, because somebody will complain, and they'll review your channel and terminate it for spam. So if you're going to do that, make sure that you have a lot of channels that you're posting with, so that it's a lot less likely that you're going to lose all of that if a channel gets terminated. All right, how many towns?
Can I just give him a piece of advice? He's poked. He's found where he can go. Now, if you really want to make money, change the videos, make them quality, put in your CTAs properly, do all of the things that you need to do to make sure that you're making as much money from this as possible.
Yep.
I mean, that's the way to go. Start flipping them into something that's going to draw people's attention and make you some money.
Yeah, and on top of that, I agree with Marco. If you already, because you've poked, so now you know which keywords you can rank for. With YouTube videos, I understand, but if you can rank a YouTube video with no SEO work by just uploading it or live streaming it, whatever, to YouTube with no additional work, then chances are for those keywords you can rank other properties fairly easily as well. And also you could probably rank that same video, or as Marco suggested, which I highly recommend, because I'm finding spam videos don't convert nearly as well as they used to, right? Because people are becoming more savvy. But you can also, when you've got a good video with a strong call to action, a video that's set up for conversions, then you can also upload that to like Dailymotion, Vimeo, those kind of things, so that you can get multiple videos on page one, but not all from just YouTube, if that makes sense. So you can start to try to rank other properties, Web 2 properties, create some blog posts, do press releases, stuff like that. All right. How many towns with very similar videos, front-end change, and varying last slides, call to action to different lengths to create variety with manually reworded descriptions can I expect to get away with on the same proxy Gmail account before getting slapped by YouTube? It's not how many, it's not how many towns, it's how fast, it's your velocity. In other words, how many videos are you uploading to that particular channel in a 24-hour period? Now, I've been aggressive and been able to get away with doing, 15 or 20 videos per channel per day and got away with it. I've got one channel that, no kidding, it's like 997 videos. They're all 100% spam videos, and it's been up for 2.5 years now. It's still generating leads today. And it was like complete spam videos. And I was doing like 20, I'd say 20, maybe even as much as 25 videos in a 24-hour period. I don't recommend that because I've also had channels terminated from that. So it's not a matter of how many towns or how many videos. It's really about how fast you do it. And I always try to stay at less than 10 videos in a 24-hour period per channel. In fact, to be extra safe, I typically like to stay at about 5 videos per channel per 24-hour period. But I have certainly been more aggressive and gotten away with it. But I've also been terminated, had accounts terminated. So just be careful. I've found that if you stick conservative to 5, no more than 10 videos in a 24-hour period, then there's very, very unlikely that you're going to have any problems unless somebody reports you. All right. Should I do multiple keywords for same larger town on 1G plus account, or should I focus on giving YouTube account to more towns, different keyword titles? I would spread it out, Earl. I would spread out one channel across multiple areas instead of doing and use multiple channels to blanket one area is what I'm saying. Because again, otherwise you're putting a great big target on your back saying, hey, come slap me. Right? What's the current best low investment option for mass publishing on YouTube? I.e. 5 to 7 across 100 or so towns. I think right now, Video Marketing Blitz, which is Ravji's program, we promoted it a few months ago. I think it's a great program for that. That's probably what I would suggest. Damn, we're almost out of time, guys. I know we got a ton of questions. We're going to get through just a couple more, but we got to wrap it up because masterclass is coming. So,
yeah, and we got some prizes to give away. Oh, that's right. All right, well, then let me just read Sky's, and then we'll wrap it up, guys. We appreciate all the comments. Sorry we couldn't get to everything. Sky says, rather than asking a dumb question, I would like to thank the Semantic Mastery team for all the information and help. Yesterday, I uploaded a video to YouTube and used all the techniques learned within Semantic Mastery training, and it ranked on page 1 on Google and position 1 on YouTube instantly. Awesome. I then removed the city modifier, and my eyes grew a bit bigger when it was still there since this is a high-value phrase with buyer intent. I was checking some rankings and identified another good phrase, so I went back to my video and added that phrase to the description. Boom, I checked the rank for that phrase and was now ranking for that term as well. To all those watching, just follow the training and take action. Awesome, Sky. Just go get it done, take action, and go make some money. Appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Take action, guys. Take it. I mean, if you don't take anything else away from this or from anything else that we tell you, do something. Do something. You can't just sit there and consume information and then hope for more, for better, for the next big thing, because you'll just sit there and you won't do anything except spend your money. At some point, you have to go and apply and see if you can make money. The satisfaction will be so much that you're going to get geeked up and you're going to want to make more money. And that's how you begin building your business. But it doesn't happen if you don't take action. It doesn't happen.
All right, before Adam gets to this, I just want to make 2 more comments. Number 1, Andrew Walker. He's awesome. He's a friend of mine, a local guy, and that's awesome that he's been showing up. I've been kind of consulting with him on a one-on-one basis, and he's starting to bring his offline business online. And I got some high hopes for you, Andrew. So thanks for showing up, buddy. Appreciate it. And last, Daryl Dressel. I just saw this. I have to answer this one. If you could only recommend one tool that you started using in the past year, what would it be? I wouldn't. We've been using it for over a year, but hands down, ClickFunnels. Hands down, ClickFunnels is an absolute must if you're in any sort of online marketing, in my opinion. And I don't know how we ever survived without it, but I don't know how I could run my business without it now. So I would say ClickFunnels is hands down the most important tool in my business right now that I can think of. So, all right, Adam, the floor is yours.
All right, guys, bear with me for a sec. I am on my laptop and things are slowly moving here. Okay, so here we go. You guys can stare at my great picture there. Sorry about that.
Oh, let me
All
get
right,
it on you. Oh, you don't have a screen share? I thought you had a screen share. Never mind.
Yeah, I did. I just, my connection hasn't been great. So, all right. So guys, how this is going to work too for the winners, I'm going to contact you via Google Plus, and that's how I'm going to verify that I'm actually getting the right person. So for the books, the little drum roll here, Andrew Sexton, Eddie Brim, and Keith Best. You guys are going to each get one of those 3 books, and I'll be telling you which one it is, and I'll be contacting you via Google Plus. So those are awesome books. If you're outside the U.S., just let me know, like, your Amazon email address, and we'll get you a Kindle book or something.
Cool.
Yeah, and those are great books. So please put them to good use. And then here we go. So picking the 3 from the questions in the background, we went through the questions. So free month of V2, and if you guys are already members of these memberships, or you already have this, then we'll just comp you on the back end. We'll get it figured out. But Earl, now you get free month of V2.
Awesome.
Yeah, good stuff. And Marco's gonna hook up an RYS stack for Mark O'Connell. So Mark will be in touch with that, and we can get you some. We'll work with you on the details there, because obviously that's a little bit more complicated. And Jay Turner, you're going to get 90 days in the mastermind. So I'll get with you with that, and we'll kind of get you onboarding there shortly.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So guys, congratulations. Thanks everybody. Like for example, Mark O'Connell, he just got the RYS stack. He's been attending our Humpday Hangouts regularly and asking questions, participating. That's what we're looking for, guys. We appreciate that. So every one of you that won, congratulations. Thanks for being here and making Humpday Hangouts something that we look forward to on a weekly basis as well. We thank everybody for being here today for 104. Next week, remember, no questions, guys. You're more than welcome to post on the events page, but we're going to be like just having fun and kicking it next week. Everybody should schedule an hour and get your favorite frosty beverages and kick it with us. Okay. So thanks for everybody being here. Masterclass starts in about 3 or 4 minutes. We'll see you guys then. Thanks, Adam, Chris, and Marco.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Take care.
Bye.